Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and I want to thank all of our clients, thank all of our supporters, and let's get down to the Ultimate Fighter 20 finale. I have three very confident betting picks for this particular fight card, and I can't wait to share them. Before I start to do so, let's go ahead and go over just the basic stuff. First, you never want to bet more than you can afford to lose. Second is you always want to check your local laws and government. And third is much respect to all the women and all the men that step into the octagon. But we got to pick a winner and break some of these people down. So let's get right to it. So Angela Hill versus Emily Kagan. In this particular fight, we've got a fighter, Angela Hill, who has potential, but she hasn't really proven anything. I have reason to believe that she is going to show more than she's shown us and have improved skill. But minus 175, nearly that price. That is a do not bet. And with Emily, she's a little bit more of a she's an older fighter. She's 33 and she's training at Greg Jackson's, and that's a dangerous combo. Because she's older, she should be bit wiser, and I'm not looking to bet against that, but I do see more ways for Angela Hill to win this fight. So I'm going to go with Angela Hill, but it's definitely a do not bet. I'll say Angela Hill by decision. Do not bet. And for the next fight, Aisling Daly versus Alex Chambers. This one really had my interest. At first, I was looking at Aisling Daly, and I was thinking, "Whoo, can't wait for this matchup. It's gonna be a good fight for Aisling." But then I see the zombie that walks up to the scale. And I'm thinking to myself, "My God!" And she weighs in at 118. Man, now I am hopeful that she's not going to be any worse off than she was, because she didn't try to push it down. She just forfeited the I believe 20% and stayed at 118. Now, as far as skills go, Aisling is definitely skilled. She's very unassuming. If you look at her, she doesn't look like Felice Herrig or one of these girls that looks just like a fighter. But she's very talented and very skilled, and she trains with some very good guys, Patty Houlihan and all those guys over there. So, and with Alex Chambers, she's really not that. She's just a jack of all trades. Really, just has a little bit of everything, but not really mastered one particular area like some of the girls I'm about to talk to pretty soon. And so, being said, and the fact that this isn't the top level of mixed martial artists that we have in the world, I'm gonna go for the slight upset here, just because what I saw from Aisling was just that is not a good sign. And since I say do not bet, and I can't convince myself to bet on Alex Chambers just because I don't really see that fighter that I think is worth betting anything on. So it's gonna be a pass. Let's see what Aisling can do with this terrible weight cut. Let's see if she's injured or what's going on with her. But I have to go with Chambers here, and I'm going to say do not bet, not even nothing. And for the next fight, this is an interesting fight here: Beck Rollins versus Heather Clark. To me, when I watch Beck Rollins fight, I'm just not impressed. I see way too many holes in her game. I'm not impressed in the least bit. And with Heather Clark, I'm a little bit underwhelmed when I watch her fight. So I feel like Heather Clark doesn't really know how to best utilize her skills in the octagon. And I think she has plenty of skill, but she just needs to learn how to use them and how to fight. And some girls don't ever learn how to do that. So I'm not going to bet it, but I am going to go with a slight upset here in Heather Clark over Beck. I can see it being like a split decision, something along those lines. Very close fight. And it's tempting to bet Heather Clark, but I'm going to ultimately pass because I have three fighters here that I really like. So I'm not even going to mess around with these round robins or anything like that. For the next one, Joan Calderwood and Hamderley Silva. At first, I was very excited for Calderwood because I think she is a very talented fighter. Then I started watching footage on Sioki Ham, and she is also a very talented fighter. The only reservation I have is that Ham is a 105, and she's fighting at 115. But Ham is very accurate, and she's very precise with her striking, and just very in the octagon. She knows what she wants to do. She knows what she wants to accomplish. And Joan Calderwood is the only girl fighting someone that wasn't on the show. It almost seems like they're bringing in Ham to be a sacrificial lamb for Calderwood. And I'm just not sold that that's going to be the case. So at this huge price tags, minus 650, I can't bet Calderwood and Ham. Although it is tempting and she could possibly win, she could sneak in here. You know, it could be a spot where she could sneak in here and Calderwood could overlook her. But Calderwood is so talented, and I do recognize that by watching her fights. So it's going to be a pass, and maybe sprinkle a little something on Ham, but I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a complete pass, and do not bet. So Calderwood by decision, do not bet. Now the next fight, Tecia Torres versus Angela Magana. Oh, yeah. Tecia Torres all day. So when I first was introduced to Tecia Torres, I was like, wow, this girl is going to be incredible. And then I watched her fight, and then I was like, I don't know. And then I started watching more of her fights, and she is impressive. I think she's one of those fighters that really missed out on not having her team there. American top team, excellent team. And with Angela, you know, she's going to want to take it to the ground and want to smother her, but Tecia is not going to let her. You know, she's not called the nickname the Tiny Tornado for nothing. So I think she's going to be just like a Demetrius Johnson of sorts. You know, obviously not that good, but just in control, whether it's on the ground, on the feet, punching, kicking, just taking care of business. And minus 650, minus 600, minus 700. I'll put her in a parlay, and I believe she will win this fight. So Tecia Torres, she'll definitely be a betting pick, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Felice Herrig versus Lisa Ellis. At first glance, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, Felice Herrig all day. And then I started watching more closely, started watching more fights, and I'm not that convinced anymore. I guess you could say Felice Herrig is a lean, but leans are like what, 60% around there. It's going to be around that mark. So do not bet for me. If I don't see it, I'm not going to back it. So Felice Herrig should win this fight, but Lisa Ellis has a extensive wrestling background. She could take this to the ground. Felice doesn't. One of those fighters that I don't think fights to her potential. It could be on the ground. It could be some horrible split decision. Lisa could have gotten home, found the motivation to fight, and then show up as a plus 300 underdog. And I don't need that, you know. And I'm not going to be chasing a dog either. So do not bet. There's a couple of better spots here to lay our money on. So do not bet. I will have to side with Felice Herrig, and I will say she could win a decision, maybe even a split decision, but do not bet. Randa Markos and Jessica Penne. Penne, another fighter that I don't think fought to her potential, but Randa Markos, what a tough girl. I mean, she is just a tough fighter, just goes after it, and I have been very impressed with her. So I'm going to go with Randa Markos by decision. The price is about fair. I would like to see her as a dog, but I don't think we could get that based off of Jessica Penne's performance on the Ultimate Fighter. So do not bet, but I am going to go with Randa Markos. Joe Proctor versus Yancy Medeiros. This is a very interesting fight. I don't think that either guy is worthy of a bet. Yancy hasn't really had a consistent type of showing. And whereas Joe Proctor has, we know what we can expect from Joe Proctor. We know what we can get from him. He's got power on the feet. His ground game is good. You know, training with Lozon, and I am tempted to pick Proctor and to bet Proctor, but then I take a look at Medeiros, and I think Medeiros is going to have the advantage when it comes to cardio. I think Medeiros will have the advantage if it comes to just straight up striking, and I think he can avoid Proctor's big shot. So I have to go with Medeiros. I don't really want to, but it's a smart pick, and that's why he's sitting at minus 250. So Medeiros for the decision, and I do not bet. Daron Cruickshank versus KJ Nunes. Ooh-wee. I love Daron Cruickshank in this position. To me, KJ Nunes is one of those fighters that one of the last remaining fighters that's just that is just one-dimensional. To me, he's just a one-dimensional fighter, and I don't see how. I mean, anything can happen. It's MMA, of course, but I just don't see KJ Nunes winning this fight. I see Cruickshank being able to mix the takedowns in with the striking, and Cruickshank should be able to style on KJ Nunes here if he's smart. By mixing in the takedowns, KJ Nunes will be thinking takedown, go to the head. But I really like Cruickshank here. I really do. He's going to be a betting pick. I'll definitely believe he's going to win. I definitely will be laying money on him. Jeremy Stephens versus Charles Oliveira. Very interesting matchup. Of course, Stephens got the knockout power. Of course, Oliveira's got the submissions. Oliveira, what I see in this guy is I see quit in this guy. I see when he gets hit, when he gets hurt, he'll cover and just collapse to the ground, and that's it. He's done. And I can't bet my money on a guy like that. And Jeremy Stephens, would I be surprised if Oliveira takes him down and submits him? No, I wouldn't be surprised because Oliveira is slick on the ground. So do not bet. Let's see how it plays out, and that'll be that. But I am going to go with Stephens by knockout round 1 because I think once Oliveira feels that power, he could very easily crumble to the ground. And if he doesn't, it'll be interesting because then he's going to be fighting for the takedown. And if Stephens knows that Oliveira took his best shot, well, then that'll be even that much more of a dangerous fight to bet. But I don't know, either way, it could go either way, and the odds reflect that, so do not bet. Now for the next one, we got Rose and Carla. With Rose, in my opinion, in this matchup, we have a killer. In this matchup, it is a great matchup for Rose. I really like this fight. I think Rose finishes her. Carla's good. She's got good footwork. She's got good wrestling, but Rose is just a killer. And it'll be interesting to see how Rose matches up with some of the other killers. And this division is very exciting. I'm very excited to see Rose fight other girls that I am high on. And but in this matchup, I believe Rose will definitely win. So let's get to the betting picks. MMA DAWGS TUF finale 20. So unfortunately, I did not find any 5-star picks, but I do have a 4-star pick, Rose, at -170. You can find her around that. 3 stars, Tisha Torres. Tisha Torres at -570, -600, around that area. Big price, but she's worth it. And number 3, Daron Cruickshank at -165. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll on down to the, of course, you can find all the predictions in text format if you don't want to look through the video and try to find what I said. It's all on a quick view, and then of course you can open up the big file and see all the picks that way. So let's go down to the bets. 1 unit equals 1% of the bankroll. I have Rose at -170, 3 units to win 1.76. Daron Cruickshank at -165, 1.5 units to win 0.91 units. Then a couple of parlays, Tisha Torres plus Rose. That gives us -115. That is 1.5 units to win 1.3. Tisha Torres and Daron Cruickshank, 1.5 units to win 1.33 units. And Rose wins inside the distance at -119, 1.19 units to win 1 unit. So the grand total is 8.69 units to win 6.30 units. So that does it. I'm excited to watch these fights tonight, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you for tuning in. Please check out our website, MMADAWGS.com. You can find all of our past predictions. You can find upcoming stuff. You can find all the information you're going to need right on our website. So check that out, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.